We family, man.
Yeah.
About some dogs.
Yeah.
Hey, I know I'm a dog. Hey, I know Daryl.
Hey, you already know
I know
how it
he's
is.
training
You
dogs.
know how it is.
Hey, we some dogs.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we about to turn up one time on these boys. They're not ready. They're not ready for it. Hey, it's their homecoming. Let's smash on these boys.
Disrespect.
Let's smash on these boys.
Smash on them.
And then we hit the field like, woo! All day like, woo! All night like, woo! And we ready like, woo!
They gave me our house, baby. We in the best days from out last year. They gave me our house. Let's show them. Hell yeah. Whose house? Whose house? Whose house?
It's another Tuesday evening, which means it's another chance to talk with the head coach of the Glen Bobcats, Tommy Green, here on Deepwater. Coach, how are you this week?
I'm doing great, man. I hope you are, man. Live and breathing, as I always say.
There we go. Let's jump into it. We got a lot to talk about this week because you guys had a lot of time to rest. Let's break that down into 3 different categories. Obviously, time to rest, time to adjust, and time to prepare. First off, how good is it to get a bye week going into conference play to rest and recover for you guys?
Yeah, it's definitely different. Normally, in years past, our bye week was normally like a week 3 or week 4. And so having that extra week or so going into 5 weeks into the season, you play a lot of football once you start adding in the summer and for everybody, spring workouts. And so it could be a lot on the kid's body. It could be a lot on you as a coach. Just, a chance to step back. And so we really enjoyed the bye week. For us, just getting healthy right now at conference time. That's another thing I'm proud about. So that bye week came at a great time for us over here in Bobcat land.
Yeah, you brought up a great point. I didn't even think of it. Obviously, going from one week to another, you might not feel it from week 4 to week 5, but you add in all those summer trainings, you definitely start to feel it. So you said it. You guys were definitely beneficial to have it when you did, especially with conference play coming up. Second off, added time off means added practice. What was job number 1 for you guys in the additional time off?
It was a little weird. I mean, we still practice. We did Monday through Wednesday. We had a makeup JV game on a Tuesday against Parkland. And so that was wedged in there between that. But other than that, we got some good work in Monday through Wednesday. I let the guys off on Thursday. Thursday is normally a day for the varsity, of course. And with the JV guys, I decided to also let them off. So JV and varsity got the rest up on Thursday. And so we just took advantage of that extra time, man. You had an extra long weekend, and they came ready to work yesterday.
I was going to say, if you give them that day off, I bet you're expecting them to come with a little bit added juice on Monday, especially with no film to watch that day.
Yeah, no film to watch. So, yeah, to your point, you're able to jump right out there, practice right away, and get the guys ready to go. Much needed extra rest. So the guys are just hungry and ready. They went to a couple games this past Friday, or at least, attended some games in the local area. And so they kind of missed it, and so it's time to get back at it.
I bet they're excited to get back on the field. Lastly, coming off of that bye, you're also coming off a loss in your last one. Looking back at the film, not this past Monday, but the Monday before that, what was it to you that stood out on tape?
Yeah, I think. Well, first and foremost, that's just a good job by their staff. They did a good job of taking away some things that we wanted to establish early. The first thing off the back is first quarter. Our defense did a great job of we ended up getting a turnover early. We couldn't capitalize off of it and put points on the board. But aside from that, I think they had a touchdown early. They had a block punt, if I'm not mistaken, in there. So that's a special team play that we always talk about. We can't take plays off there. And so that's 14 points right there. But going into half, 20-0 and just trying to find ways to make the score, to fight back. And it was a lot of that, a lot of things I could take from that staff as far as just being happy in adjustments that we made in halftime. And so the things I seen is, things that we already knew of. We got to play mistake-free football. And we didn't do that, and that's fine. But the thing I'm most proud of, and I walked away with a smile, is the adjustments that we made in the second half. At one point, it was 20-27, and we just kind of didn't have no business even kind of lingering around in that game, if you will. But just excuse me, kudos to the staff and the kids. We played 4 quarters, and our kids definitely had a little hunger of to fight back, and I was very pleased to see that.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, going into the halftime locker room down by that much, it can take a lot for you not to just roll over and say, we'll get them next time. And especially in that game, a game you told me was going to be as close to a conference game as you guys were going to get without it being labeled a conference game. I'm sure that just added to your excitement seeing your team not quit after just the 2 quarters.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we just went into the whole idea of like we said last week, this is a playoff type of atmosphere. And so for us, we just wanted to see where we were. That's what the non-conference is about. We didn't take too much from it. We just want to see where we are before we go into conference play. And as coaches and everything, we walked away with some things that we know we need to work on. And at the same time, some things that we're going to get better at, some things that we did good. And so it's not like we say, sometimes we turn on film, it's not all bad, and sometimes it's not all good. So we've seen a lot of good things.
You always say there's room to grow even when you guys win. This past or 2 weeks ago, trailed at the halftime, but ended up outscoring them in the second half. Talk to me about that halftime huddle. Who was speaking up? Who were the leaders in that huddle to get your team re-energized?
Yeah, that just started with, of course, halftime, I immediately go out there and just talk to the kids about what we need to do in order to get ourselves back in here. It's like taking small bites. You can't look at the large sum of things. We got to look at how the way to slowly chop leads away. So the first thing I did, I talked to the kids, hey, rest up, allow the coaches time to discuss and figure out what we need to do. And, offensively, what we try to do right away is figure out what are they trying to take away from us and how can we capitalize. And I'm very pleased about that. For the most part, defense did a pretty good job. There were some explosive plays in there, but we had 4 takeaways on defense. We as an offense got to capitalize off that, which we did in the second half. We got some turnovers and we was able to put drives together quickly. And so, but you're already down 20-0. So we knew it was going to be an uphill battle. And that moment, you just want the kids to continue fighting, and you want to make these halftime adjustments. When you watch college football, when you watch NFL football, everybody has a game plan. But what happens when the game plan doesn't work? These guys getting paid a lot of dollars. What are the adjustments that we're going to make in order to make this game competitive again? And like I said, at one point, I started feeling like, hey, man, we may be able to squeak this out. And so that's all you want to see is the halftime adjustments that was made by coaches. And then at the same time, what is it we could do to get better at?
I think where it really started to feel real, like you said, pulling this one out, was that goal line stop you guys had. I believe it was Isaiah Buford who came away with the football. I'm not sure if he forced the fumble, but it was right when the Falcons were on the goal line, yes, about to go up by 14 points. But then he punched it out and ran it all the way back, basically flipped the field to get you guys in the red zone. And I was just sitting there in the booth smiling like, this team just does not quit. And it was so nice to see.
Yeah, that's a good thing you want to see. It's the 4 quarters of football. Anything can happen. And that's just that relentless effort. Because, again, kids can just lay down and just take whatever is given to them. Now, that's not our brand of football. You're going to get everything. You're going to get every ounce from my kids. And that's the way we coach. 4 quarters, 4 effort. And we're going to get it. So for Isaiah Buford to be able to punch that out, I think he made the best football play that you could think of. Well, I think Isaiah Buford probably could have scored, but he knew if I score, I'm on field goal. I got to go back out there on kickoff. And so he's like, nah, I made a business decision. I'm going to slide out of bounds and see if the offense can put drives together. But, yeah, to your point, 4 quarters of football, that's important.
It really is, and it was really fun to watch, especially in that second half. Let's talk about the offense, a little bit about Brady Robinson. 3 touchdowns and almost a 50% completion percentage. He was flashy in that second half.
Yep. And Brady, again, that's just that's us being able to like, Brady, look, this is what they're doing to us in the coverage-wise. He fully understood it. Halftime adjustments. All right, coach, this is what we need to do. And he came out just letting it rip. And, like you said, 3 touchdowns. So that just shows you we can get it done multiple ways. And I think that'll make us somewhat dangerous as we move forward. We just got to get the run game going early to keep it somewhat balanced. You don't want to have to throw it 100% of the time, but we know we can do it with Brady if we have to get to that point. And he just came out and just started flinging that ball everywhere, and we end up getting it done.
With a guy like Brady, especially coming into the second half with a deficit, does it almost become a little bit of backyard football for him, or is he still kind of taking it like it's 0-0? Where's his mindset at?
No, everybody's mindset should be 0-0. We can't get into the whole Because, you come out there second half and you just throwing it everywhere, or you just backyard football, as you say, then you're never going to be able to slowly bite away the lead. So in a way, you got to have the mentality of it's 0-0. We're going to slowly take what they give us, and we're going to climb our way back into this game and try to make it competitive again. And so we he just stuck to the strip, as the kids say, man, stick to the strip. We're going to take these little bites, and we're going to take it from what we can get from them.
The Falcons did a really good job controlling the line of scrimmage, but Robinson's favorite target on 2 Fridays ago, Ja'Shawn Harris, who put together 3 catches for 49 yards and 1 touchdown. What does the junior bring to the table, especially in his route running, getting off the line of scrimmage with efficiency?
Understanding spatial awareness. I'm running this route, but where's the defender? All right, this is the coverage they're running. Do I need to take it over top? Do I need to sit in the window? Do I need to find grass? And just trusting Brady's going to make the right throw for those guys to be on the same page. That just goes back to 7-on-7 in the summertime and in the spring. Just being on one accord with your receivers, making sure y'all both see the same thing. Pre-snap. What is the corner leverage? What is the coverage? All right, we got this call. How am I supposed to run this route? I know I need to be here because this is where Brady going to put the ball based off what we both feel like we see. And so that's just them just really trusting one another, and that's just that 7-on-7 football in the summertime.
Yeah, and all 3 touchdowns for Robinson went to 3 different receivers. What does that say about his ability to spread the wealth and also being on the same page with all of his receivers?
Yeah, just, like you said, I mean, we got to trust everybody to do their job. And then actually one of them was actually well covered by, I think it was the last touchdown we put together, the 3rd touchdown. It went to Derek Griffin. Derek Griffin was the guy that got this touchdown. But on this particular play, I think it was the last touchdown we got, they actually covered it very well. It was nowhere to go with the football. But what Brady did was he scrambled. He used his legs to extend the play. And then Derek, the receiver, something that we kind of work in practice, we do work in practice, is once the quarterback starts scrambling, where do I need to be for him to be able to get me the football? So that was our scramble drill of the quarterback using his legs, the receivers breaking off their routes, trying to find grass, and Brady being able to deliver the ball and end up being a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, the scramble drill, like you said, you can practice it, but it really just comes down to who can withstand the chaos for those 2 to 5 seconds. And it seems like you guys, in the times where he does run outside the pocket, and Robinson does that quite a bit because, like you said, he's a dual threat kind of guy, you guys have a really good system in place for when it does break down, when the pocket does break down. Here's where everyone's going to go, and it seems to work pretty well.
Yeah, you just got to have everybody has a plan A, but we all have assurance of like, what's plan B? All right, if this happens, man, where's my safety net? And so, yeah, we just doing a good job. All the kids are doing a good job of just understanding, let's take what the defense give us. This didn't work, so cool. How can I break off and get open?
We'll talk about conference play and homecoming on the other side when you join us again in a little bit. But how excited? Just tell me a little bit of a preview, a snapshot. How excited is this team for conference play and homecoming?
Well, we as a team, we're very excited about conference play. I love the conference from top to bottom. I think it's a great fit for Glenn High School from a whole, from all sports. Not just football, basketball, soccer. I mean, all of us will benefit from being in the Piedmont Triad Conference. It's very competitive, some good teams in there, and so it's just a good fit for us. So we are extremely excited about just having a chance to start conference play, because as I told the kids, this is phase 2. Phase 1 is just to prepare you for phase 2. The most important part is phase 2, which is conference play. So we're excited. 1-0. The goal is to be 1-0 each week. And yeah, man, we ready to get at it.
We'll talk more about conference play on the other side of our guests. But it's funny you mentioned basketball, because that's exactly who joins us this evening. We'll start with the head coach of the Glen Bobcats men varsity team, and that would be Calique Jones. He joins us next.
Yep.
Coach Jones, how's it going?
How you doing, man? How you doing?
Doing all right. How are you?
I can't complain. I was just working out my guys, you know what I mean? Just trying to get some work in to get them a little bit better. So I feel a little bit good right now.
Absolutely. Great to be with you. And you said you're working out with your guys. Tell me a little bit about them. How excited are you to get back out there?
I'm super excited, actually. I think from being the assistant last year, I got to know the guys on a personal level, and I kind of wanted to just, kind of exploit some of the things that they're just not used to, like comfortability. Like we got a thing, like I'm from Pittsburgh, so I kind of always utilize Mike Tomlinisms and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So, I go off of like, don't seek comfort and stuff like that. And my guys they're just used to it. So right now we're just trying to develop a mindset of not seeking some comfort. We don't want to be a part of it. And hopefully from that point on, we just continue to grow with our hard work and dedication. And then we just add it from there, man. So I'm super excited. They're super excited. We're running around every day, all day, getting in some shape, getting shots up, just preparing for the little things that we need to work on when the season comes. So, by the time it comes through, we just flow right through practice like it's good.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Mike Tomlin's a great pull because he's a guy who literally does not have losing seasons. So that's something that you guys want to emulate. First and foremost, congratulations getting the promotion from assistant to head coach. What is the number one thing you've noticed in your transition from being the assistant to now being at the helm?
Honestly, just the welcomeness. Like I get it. I understand when I first got here, like it was cool too. But once I got the job, it was like the welcomes just, grew. You know what I mean? Like it felt more like a family. It felt more comfortable being there, even though I was already here for the first year. So it still was, a little comfortable. But it really didn't process, not until I think maybe like the middle of September. I was still just thinking like, yo, there's no way I'm a head coach, man. I'm still the assistant. Like I got that mindset. Like I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. And then back office stuff started to hit, and I'm like, okay, head coach. So, but that was kind of my mindset in the beginning. Now it's just, let's get to work. Like that's where I'm at with it. So
yeah. I can certainly understand that. And just tell me a little bit about your coaching career. Obviously, like we mentioned, the assistant last year for Glenn. Mm-hmm. But prior to that, where has the game of basketball taken you? Maybe into your playing days back at Pittsburgh?
So I started off I'm going to just go from high school kind of up and try to make it a little quick. So I started off at a school called Shinley High School, but it ended up going out of like extinct or something like, I don't know what happened. It phased out. Yeah. So then we changed the name to Obama Academy. From there, I'm gonna be honest, I lost, but I didn't lose as much as, you would assume. I probably only lost like 5 games in high school, and that's 4 from my junior year compared to 1 to my senior year. So I'm not used to losing. So I bring that to the team. I bring that hunger, that drive. Like this is what we did to win. So let me see if I can kind of blend it to my new guys, and hopefully they add it, and then we, start to attack it from there. But leaving there, I ended up playing at Bethany in West Virginia, a D3 school. I ended up doing really, really good numbers, even though I wanted to transfer after my first year. And then next thing you know, I'm 6 all time scoring, and it's just things just happen. You know what I mean? I put the work in the summer. I grinded every single day. Me and my best friend, blood, sweat, tears, running up hills, running outside, lifting. Getting beat by dudes that were like 25, 28. You know what I mean? Just to get better every day, and eventually it showed. So after that, I ended up moving down to North Carolina, working at AT&T. And then I just was looking to try to get into some coaching jobs and stuff like that. I had my resume built up a little bit. I coached my first year out of college with my high school team. That was very excruciating, I'm going to be honest. I was so nervous, didn't know what to do. I thought I was messing everything up. It was just a different process from being a guard in college to being the head of the helm not the head of the helm, but an assistant of the head of the helm. And I just didn't know what to say, what to do. You know what I mean? So I did a lot of research once I became the assistant at NCLA, North Carolina Leadership Academy, right up the street from Glenn. I was down there for a year under Coach Daniel, great dude. I loved him to death. He taught me a lot about just like the back office stuff, the organizational stuff of basketball. I got to learn a little bit more about like certain progression, certain like styles of play, defensive structures, just all the little things that you can really get to know for basketball purposes. Like I just got to know all of that stuff. I wanted to dive into the knowledge of how I can become a better coach by being a player. So I looked into that. And then I went back and watched a lot of my old film too. And luckily I was able to like dissect my own film You know what I mean? So then I was like, okay, this is what coaches are looking for. Like, how can I do that and get better at that? And I just kept watching film, looking at the bad things, looking at the good things, looking at things that did work, didn't work. And then I just, talked to a lot of coaches and went from there. Then next thing you know, I came to Glenn under Coach Parrish, another great guy. He taught me a little bit about, being more prepared in terms of practice planning, the practice plan schedule, how detailed you can be with that, but then you can also be a little bit loose with it at the same time because you might want to add something that you think didn't pop up earlier, or the way the practice is going, you can just switch it and change it a little bit more. That's kind of cool. It kind of reminds me of being a point guard, where you just gotta think all the time, and if you make a mistake, you know what I mean, you can't really hold your head. You just gotta accept it and move on. So, and then eventually, once that season hit, and I got the opportunity, I honestly really didn't want to take it at first. I'm just being honest. But then I thought about it, and I was like, this could be a really good opportunity for me. Whether I do good or not, it doesn't matter. Regardless, I'm getting a good opportunity by just being a head coach, and I'm getting experience. So overall, I'm super excited, man. The journey has been ridiculous, from being in the cold to being in the heat, but then kind of cold at the same time. So it's like, it doesn't get as cold as Pittsburgh, but it gets a little bit, what I mean?
It does. It does. There's a little bit of snow.
Just
just a little bit.
It was ridiculous, but then after that, it was like mini ones, and I'm like, we could go to work.
Yeah. Well, Coach Jones, it seems like Glenn is in a great spot and really good hands just on your journey and your hard work. I know you're going to have your guys coached up really, really well. But you mentioned play style a little bit back. What is your team's play style? Are you guys a strike fast, get back on defense, or let the play kind of develop? Where's your team headed this season?
Right now, I'm still kind of like figuring that out. The things that I really want to do, though, I'm gonna be honest, like I really want to play fast. However, but there's certain things that comes with playing fast that I don't think we're really ready for yet. Which isn't a big deal, because right now we're learning IQ. We're getting higher at the things that we need to learn, because that's pretty much what it is, man. If you're playing fast, you got to have a decent IQ. You got to make decisions quick. So, I'm just trying to figure out how I can get guys to be more motivated, especially when they make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. It's just how many mistakes can you stack up? You know what I mean? Right. Like if you're making one and then you figure it out, and then you're just playing hard, and then you make 2, 3, 4 in a row, then like that starts to like hit kids in the head. So I'm working on mental toughness right now. We're working on becoming a tougher team mentally and physically. But overall, like, to answer your question, what I believe, this is what we're going to do. We're going to be a defensive kind of mindset team where we're in your face, we're tough, we're going to be reaching, you know what I mean? Like, so all the little things, the real nitty gritty kind of Glenn, because I mean the football team already do it, so it's like, dude, let's just add to it. You know what I mean?
Copy and paste.
Like, I want to be aggressive. I want to be rude. I want to be ignorant. I want to be known like, man, them dudes are rude, man. Like they're tough. Like that's the kind of mindset that I want to have. And I want my guys to be in there too. So eventually our defense turns into offense. So if we end up playing fast off that, cool. If we play slow off that, cool. We can play slow too. That's fine. But once I get the IQ where it needs to be, then we will be in full throttle from there.
Yeah, you said you guys want to be loud. You want to be known as that team. Talk to me about your leaders on the floor. Who should we be keeping an eye out? What are the names we should know out of the Glenn Bobcats men's varsity team?
Jalen McNeil, who's a senior. He's about 6'4". The kid is solid, really solid. Like, the kid is strong. He just bumps dudes, like going for rebounds. He's so big. It's just like if you jump wrong, he just accidentally hits you because he's going with the rebound strong. He's kind of like one of our vocal leaders right now, just kind of getting guys in spots, understanding, like, if I'm talking, like, we shouldn't be saying anything. Just all that little stuff, the real tiny detail things, man, like the chop wood, carry water stuff. Like, he's going. Another one's going to be Derek Griffin, another football guy. Doing really well right now for football, and I'm excited for him, even though he keep trying to tell me about basketball. I'm like, man, worry about football, bro. You doing well. Like, worry about it. Like, you're good, man. So he's going to be another one. Got another football guy, too, I think is going to be really big for us, in my opinion, and Joel Hayes. Joel Hayes is going to be really good for us as well, too. Kid can shoot it. He plays defense. He communicates. We'll work on some finishing. But other than that, like, I think those 3 core guys are going to be big for us. And then after that, man, it's just a trickle down effect, man. However they roll is the way that we're going to figure it out.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And Coach, you mentioned it earlier. You're a guy who went the D3 route. How does that help you in coaching these guys up to say, yes, everyone wants to play at the Power 4 level, maybe Power 5 if we're talking basketball, but everyone wants to play at that level. How do you teach them and kind of ease their conversation to be, you might not start out there, and that's okay. You might get there one day. How do you teach them that?
The first thing I just tell them off from the beginning is I'm a guy that went the level that most of you probably might play at, and that's not to be rude. That's just to be honest. Because once you get out of high school, like it's just straight honesty at that point. And some people might say something wrong. Some people might say something to you that you just might not like. You know what I mean? So I just tell them, like, from a D3 guy to guys that are looking to play in college, like I had the opportunity that if I decided to leave, I could have probably played at a high D2, maybe low D1 type of school. However, I chose to stay D3 because D3 has hoopers. And I keep that, and I say that. I always break it down where D1, I say D1 has athletes. They got the athletes they're athletic, they could dunk, they could shoot from far range, they're fast, they're quick, they're all of that stuff. D2 got the guys that are super smart, play really well, and athletic guys too. So it's not like they just got the lesser version of that. And then D3, I'm just saying, it's a dogfight. Basically JUCO. It's a dogfight. So there's hoopers D3. So don't think you can just walk into a D3 team and it's like, oh, I'm gonna start automatically. No, there's dudes down there that could possibly play D1, possibly play D2. You know what I mean? There's guys that could possibly go to the league out of D3. You just don't know. But having them understand that the harder you work and the more you don't really focus on what everybody else is worried about, and you're just focused on what you can accomplish in between these white lines, it doesn't matter where you go. You're going to go wherever you put the hard work in to do. And I think some of them understand it. Some of them are kind of just like the younger guys. They don't really understand yet. But the juniors, seniors they're hip to it. You know what I mean? They understand, like, I got to get it going. Because seniors, this is your last chance. Juniors, you got 2 more years. This is your 1 year, and then the year after that, it's done. So right now, it's pretty much your trial area. Like, what do you want to get out of this? What do you want college coaches to say to you when AAU come up, or they get to come to a game whenever they can? You know what I mean? So just being able to hold them to the little things, hold them to being smart defensively, communicating and helping each other out, flying around, just being active, looking for the ball, searching for it, being a safety is what I call it, being a safety kind of guy. Like, I'm just looking for the ball wherever it's at. I'm being smart. I'm not reaching. I'm reaching with 2 hands if they call a foul. I'm not crying to the refs. You know what I mean? Just being disciplined. And that's the biggest thing I think we struggled with last year. And I'm trying to, change with that and make it a little bit easier for us. Yeah,
100%. You said juniors and seniors. You said communicate and fly around, play as a unit on the floor. Coach, tell me, how does this team mesh as a whole? And what do you guys do specifically in the offseason that allows you guys to mesh once November and October rolls around?
Right now, it's kind of hard because some of my guys, most of them are playing football. And so the guys that I do have, like, they're pretty good guys. So to answer that, like, right now what we're doing is we've been running a lot. We've been outside running some miles. We've been outside running some sprints, you know what I mean? Some 50-yard sprints, some stadium steps, you know what I mean? Like, we're getting the work in. We come inside, we play a little bit. I got a game that I went down to Randolph-Macon for a camp, and really good with the coaches down there. And I appreciate them for everything that they taught me down there. But we played a game called Backboard Game. And I added it to my team, and I wanted to see how they would how they would do with it. And I'm going to be honest, man, it taught them things that I didn't even have to really teach. Like, they communicated really, really well. They were defending because nobody could dribble, so they had to pressure the ball. Guys were figuring out how to get the ball out without turning it over. Basically, the game is, if you could throw the ball off of the backboard at any given moment, wherever you're at, as long as it hits the ground, it's a point inbounds, right? You can go underneath the rim. You could throw it underneath. You just can't throw it behind and it go out of bounds and hits, and then it's not a point. So as long as it hits some part of the backboard, front or bottom, top, side, whatever, and it hits the ground, it's a point. So these guys were flying around. They were trying to figure it out. Dudes would just throw a 50-yard bomb from the other foul line and hit the backboard and go out of bounds. And they're just cheering like, yeah, let's go. You know what I mean? So it generated a lot of chemistry with the guys.
Nice.
I also want to I just told Coach Green, I asked him, let me borrow a football, man. We're just going to go out there and play some football together. I think that's going to be good for team chemistry as well. Trying to handle some other things like bowling, maybe like a 2K tournament or something. Just something to help them out, just to get more acclimated with each other, which makes them want to trust each other a little bit more. And then hopefully we can get these guys to understand like everybody, what they like to do, strengths, weaknesses. And then eventually they start to think like, okay, I know if I pass it to this guy, I know he's good going left, driving. I just got to feel behind because he likes to do that retreat dribble and then the reverse pivot and kickbacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to get them to just see certain things without them making it too difficult for themselves, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. Coach Jones, it seems like you've got your team in a really good spot. Again, congratulations to you. I know you're eager to get back out on the hardwood and in the head coaching role. So again, congratulations to you. And it sounds like Glenn's going to do really good things this season.
Man, that's the plan. That's the plan. We're going to get it going and we're just going to keep working our butts off every single day, every day.
That's all you can do. I believe we're supposed to be joined by the head coach of the women's varsity hoops, Melvin Heggie. Is he joining us next?
Nah, he won't be here. I think we'll be able to get another time for him.
All right, no worries.
It's nowhere. He's not close to the school yet, so I mean, we'll reach out and try to get him something soon as we can.
Good. All good. The best thing about these is they're every week, so we can sneak them in next week if we have the time.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Coach Jones, again, thank you so much for spending a couple minutes with us.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
Anytime. Let's bring back in the head coach of the Glen Bobcats varsity football team to talk a little bit about conference play and homecoming coming up this week.
Oh, yeah.
He seems awesome, by the way. I wish I was still in high school playing with him.
A lot of energy. He's very relatable, man. Kids love to play for him, and that's all you can ask. He dropped a lot of good nuggets. I think it's important for any school that you go to. I think at Glen High School, even though we're a 6A school, we have quite a bit of kids. I think our kids play multiple sports. I think it's important for head coaches to be aligned in their philosophy and their expectations from kids. And he's on board with the way we're going to hold kids accountable. And so anytime you have a head coach of another sport, they're on the same page with you. Coach Barron, our wrestling coach, is on the same page. Coach Imes, we all got the same philosophies, are very similar, and we blend them a little bit because we share kids. I think that's important for school success. And so to have head Coach Jones join as a head coach, me going into my second year, Coach Barron is like in his third. Coach Imes only been there like 3 or 4 years as a head coach. It's always good when we all can kind of get this thing going in the right direction at the same time.
100%. 100%. I hinted at it a little bit earlier, but it's homecoming this week.
Yeah, man.
Coach, how excited are your seniors?
I'm excited. Anytime it's homecoming, you get a lot more phone calls, text messages about, they're going to pop out, as they say. We popping out for homecoming, old alumni. It doesn't matter what sport you play. It's a lot of people that's coming back. They're going to be at the Watertower on Friday night. Of course, you have you crowning a king, a queen, right? We also, Glen High School is also announcing the second class Hall of Fame class. That's another thing that we're very excited about. We're gonna name those guys on Friday as well. And so we got a lot of good stuff going on. Kids have been excited, participating in this week's festivities thus far. And so, yeah, it's been going great. So a lot of positivity.
Yeah, and you were there last year with this team when homecoming rolls around. Tell me about that crowd. Tell me about how energized everyone gets.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. As a head coach, you recognize real quick how much a distraction it really is, full transparency. I mean, because, like my kids, my guys, a lot of my guys are participating in the Powerpuff game. They are coaches. And so they are going through the whole trying to figure out, you know what I mean, coach, man, we got the game today. Are we gonna get our practice on time? I say, hey man, I think the Powerpuff game has been canceled, so we're gonna end practice on regular time. But nah, you want those kids to enjoy that because this is their homecoming, and so from that standpoint, it can be a distraction. But the most important thing, as I told the kids, they have to remember, homecoming is homecoming for a reason. Everything is embedded in the football game, and you can't lose sight of that. Everything around it is an event at the football game, and so we got to do our part and make sure we prepare. So it can be a little bit of distraction. You just hope that kids know how to compartmentalize, separate different parts of their young academic lives in order to accomplish more.
You said it all surrounds the football game. How bad does this team want to go 1-0 this week?
1-0 is the goal, man. We need it. It's important to get off on the right foot. And just carry that momentum into the next 4 games after this. Nothing's going to be easy nor handed to us. And so we're going to approach that mentality each week. And my kids are excited, man. Like I said, we have a bye week. You know, you hungry, man. Let's keep going. Football season ain't done yet. And so that bye week just strikes a little more hunger. I'm ready to go get after it, coach. And so we're excited to now be in phase 2, and we understand all our goals and aspirations that we want to accomplish are within this phase right here, some things that we want to get checked off. And so everything is still in front of us, and we're excited about it leading into this first week of conference play.
There's a lot to be excited about. You guys have Atkins on the table this week coming up. And although they're 0-5 right now, Coach, we talk about it all the time. Anybody can beat anybody on any given Friday. And we talked about it on one side, how it's homecoming for you guys. Yep. Atkins knows that. They're going to be hungry to play for a spoiler. How do you prepare for them and make sure they don't do that?
Well, the first and foremost, you got to respect all opponents. I can care less about their record. I mean, you got to throw that out the window. It's saying, you know, I feel the same thing about rivalries. Like, records don't matter. Conference play records do not matter. The most important thing is you being able to do your job and let's complete the task. And so our guys understand it from that mentality. And you are right. Unfortunately, you do have to play somebody on homecoming. It's not, and next year to be somebody different, right? Because, we'll be away at Atkins, so it won't be Atkins. So, but, teams can, figure out, you're going to play spoiler alert, if you will. But at the end of the day, kids got to just erase that, the records, what they did in non-conference, that goes for any of the teams in our conference. Non-conference don't matter. It don't mean anything. It was preparing you for phase 2. I mean, a team can go 0-5 in the non-conference and run the table in conference. They're still going to the playoffs. They still going to grab a high seed. And so we understand that. And so we're excited for the challenge that's ahead of us. And it's time to grab what we feel that is ours, man. We're going to go 1-0 each week, and let's get after it.
Do your job, complete the task. That's what you said. What is that job? What is that task that you're going to need on Friday to get that win?
Yeah, 11. I mean, do your job. I mean, the most important thing is whatever the game plan asks you to do, you need to execute and do it with full effort and intensity. That's number one. We're not going to leave anything on the table. We are, we need to play with full aggression. Anytime, you do got homecoming, it's going to be a lot of jitters it's going to be extra packed. But you got to keep the main thing, and focus on the assignment. And if we get a chance, an opportunity to squeeze the life out of them, if you can get to that point, you got to do it, man. You got to get to a point where you got to play the best brand of football as possible. That's what it's going to take for us to go 1-0 each week. We got to play the best brand of football, regardless of the opponent. And we never looking at the outcome. I want to dominate each possession, each play. And so that's what it's going to take to go back to your question. It just starts with us doing your job, play in and play out.
100%. I mentioned it at the top, but you said 2 Fridays ago against the Falcons was quite literally as close to a conference game as you're going to get without it being labeled as one. Now shoes on the other foot. You're quite literally in conference play. This game is labeled as a conference game. How does that change the mindset for your team, and how do you not let that affect how they play on the field? Because this is a good group of guys.
Yeah, I mean, just break it off into phases. It's phase 2, so the kids was already mentally prepared for what's at stake now. And they also understand, as I as I already alluded to, kind of sort of the goals. We have goals and aspirations of what we want. Everything that we would like to accomplish personally within our organization, it's got to happen during conference play. And so our kids understand it. And so they're not, it's no added pressure when you already let the kids know what it's going to be before it even occurs. And so our kids will be ready to go. They understand the assignment, as they would say. And yeah, man, it's conference time. 1-0. We're not looking past let's focus on the next win. What's important now? Atkins. That's the Super Bowl right now. Each week we're going to prepare for each week as it's the biggest game and it's the only game that matters. I can't tell you who else is playing who in our conference, and quite frankly, I can care less. Atkins is the biggest game that we're going to play this week, and so we got to take care of our job and we got to get it done.
We just talked to the head coach of the men's varsity squad who have not played basketball since, I don't know, March or maybe April, but I'm sure your group is revved up, ready to go, coming off the bye. How hungry is this team after the week off?
Yeah, anytime you get a week off, I mean, at first, kids are kind of excited because they think practice is going to be somewhat a little lighter. And for the most part, it is. We didn't pad up one of those days. And so, but at the same time, when it gets closer to Thursday and Friday and they jump on social media and they seeing everybody else still playing and some of their homeboys in the county, hey, man, pop up at our game. They go to the game, right? And then they feel like, man, I wish I was playing. So your hunger's still there. And so, I mean, the kids they're ready to go just from that aspect. Practice is practice, but when it's time, when the lights hit and Fox 8 pops out and all the news coverage and Tobacco Road is out there and you know what I mean? Everybody you're ready for the game. And so I think it's important for the kids to just be ready to go. And they're hungry. They're ready to go. I mean, you missed the game. And so, man, you get another opportunity to play the game of football.
And Coach, let's round off with this. What is your message to the homecoming fans? How rowdy do you want them to be?
I want them to be loud, man. I want a lot of energy. Everybody's in their Sunday best, as I would say. You know what I mean? Come with your Sunday best on for those that are a part of the homecoming court. I want to pack it out, man. I want to pack it out. I hope that we can put on a good show for our alumni. And yeah, man, we're gonna do our best to make them happy at the end of the night and try to go 1-0. But I just want the energy to be there. I want us to have a good time.
We've talked about it all night long, but it's homecoming for the Glen Bobcats. That's this Friday against Atkins. We'll have you covered on Tobacco Road Sports Radio for the head coach of the Glen Bobcats, Coach Green, for Coach Jones, the men's varsity head coach, and Desmond Johnson, of course, who set up Tobacco Road Sports Radio. So grateful to be able to do this, not only for Glenn, but for other athletics around the triad. My name's Max Wallace, signing off on this edition of Deepwater. Coach, anything you want to add before we go dark for the week?
Hey, man, go Bobcats. Let's get it done.
You heard it. Go Bobcats. We will see you on Friday for the conference opener and homecoming out at the Watertower. All right. I think we're good.
I'll see you, man. See you Friday night.
Yes, Coach. I hope to get down there. Hopefully we're not running on technical issues on Friday, but I'll definitely get down there.
All right, man. All is well. See you soon.
See you.
All right, peace.
Bye.